Hello, good evening, and welcome back to TTTV. My name is Andy, and it is time once again, Saturday evening. It can only mean one thing. It's time for the Project Cars Formula C League, and this time we are at Zolder in Belgium. Now, this track, 2.492 miles, is not a track I enjoyed. I actually raced this on Wednesday night in the GT3 League on another elsewhere, and well, I got 5th, which wasn't bad, but it's a tricky track, that is for sure. We've got 11 drivers lined up tonight. We're getting ready for the start of the 15-minute sprint race. Just to make sure the volume's working, good stuff. So we've got Jazza getting pole position, Lyronix in second place. Now he's currently second in the championships, that's good for him. Rappy in third. We've got Alan Kay taking 4th on the grid. 5th place is the Zebra, who's returned after missing last week. 6th is Crusher Bro. 7 for McKinda for you. 8 for Sakit. I'll still get that wrong. 9 for Jero and 10 for Plaster. You can see a gap part way down there. That was Maze. He seems to be having some connection issues tonight, which is not good at all for him. It's a shame because he would have started in 4th position as well. So he's now lost out on that place. Waiting to see if everybody is going to be readied up very shortly. Hopefully it won't be too much longer before we get started tonight. Here we go. So, getting ready for the first race of the evening. It's a 15-minute sprint race that we have ahead of us. Who is going to lead into turn 1? The lights are on. And we're underway for round number 5, and already we've got an incident there as Alan Kay doesn't get underway at all. Cars right into the back of him. That was Saki getting into the back of the Irishman. Into turn number 1, Jazza holds the lead. Rappy's moved up into second, Lyronix down to third, and that is the Zebra into 4th. He's got Crusher Bro trying to stay. McKinda, sorry, no, it's not Crusher Bro, it's McKinda for you in 5th place with Crusher Bro in 6th. These camera angles are terrible. Coming through here, Lyronix has gone through past Jazza, as has Rappy, so the two Germans have just taken over from Jazza up front. McKinda for you in 4th to come down to the clean chicane for the first time in the race. A tricky chicane this, and McKinda for you's completely messed up and into the wall hard. That's a huge impact there for McKinda for you. He's going to drop right down the order. Where is he? Let's jump for there he is. In fact, that's Jero coming down the hill. Where is McKinda for you? He's out of the race, he's retired. Saki coming through. We're down to 7 drivers, so it's already going wrong. Lyronix has had an incident as well, so it's all going off and the camera angles aren't doing anything, and there we go, down to 5. I wonder if we might end up with a restart here because of all this. Who knows? We'll need to wait and see. The Zebra is now into the lead of the race. We'll need to wait and see what's going on, if this continues or if we get a restart. So we're already down to 5 as a lot of drivers retired there. I don't know if there's been a shout for a restart or not, but Crusher Bros in 2nd, Plaster in 3rd, you've got Jero in 4th, and Saki is down in 5th place. But Zebra leads by 4.5 seconds over the field after that frantic first lap. Crusher Bro into 2nd with Plaster 3rd, and Jero into pit lane, so damage for the Spaniard possibly. And shout in the chat there from Alan Kay, it is going to be a restart because it seems like multiple issues. Alan never got going, so it looks like we may end up with a restarted race here in just a moment. That'll probably be why Jero is into pit lane. I get the feeling there may be a connection issue because obviously Maze dropped out early doors, and then a few cars just never got going at all in any sort of way, shape or form. So it looks like we will be having a restart in just a moment. If any of the drivers on track are watching, pull over. It is a restart. First time we've had it this season, so the fact it took to round 5 isn't too bad. I'll take that at least every day of the week if that was to be the case. But yeah, we're going to be looking like a restarted race, and hopefully everybody can hear me or can get the messages coming through, because that's not what we want. We want everyone to have as much chance as possible to race here tonight, obviously. Cars are still going round at the moment, and we'll probably see a lobby getting set up in a minute by Alan, and that will then allow us to get underway. So we're going to have a little bit of an intermission there off of that one there. You can see Crusher locking up into the hairpin there at the back end of the track, and I'll give you, you've got a laugh coming up later on when I start trying to pronounce names. Ho 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 ho. Names of these corners are fun. There we go, that was Jag Jazza in the start. Probably lost my pole position. Well, it is a random grid, so it's a very likelihood to be the case. And there is the invite from Mr. K, so hopefully everybody starts to notice that. And we'll just see, there's Gerald disappearing, so everyone's disappearing and realising what's going on. Probably just driving round just to get a few extra laps in. So we've got a restart, first one of the season. Not the greatest, but you know what, these things do happen from time to time. So we're just waiting on everybody getting back into the lobby, and then we can start again. Hopefully no problems this time. But these things do happen on occasions. It's the joys of sim racing. Issues happen. So yeah, it happens, and it gives everyone a chance. So it's Mays dropped out, obviously something happened with his connection. He was having troubles getting into the lobby initially. Alan never even got going at all, so maybe he has synced to the session. Didn't mean he wasn't actually in control of the car. That obviously caused a few incidents. Just like a lot of trouble for people. So the best thing to do is to give the restart, give everyone the chance to get into the race. So most of the drivers are already in. I need to sign back to the director mode. I'm sure Mr. K will fix that for me in a minute. But we shall see. There we go. Just as I speak. He must be listening to me. So we're about to try again for round number 5. Man of Steel in the chat, back shouting for Jazza as always, a regular to Saturday nights. I like it, my friend. Thank you very much once again for joining us this Saturday evening. This is round 5 of 8, so we are now into the second half of the season. We've got Zolder tonight, we've got Knock Hill next week, my home track so to speak. It's over the Forth Bridge from me. And then we've got Donington and finish off at Brands Hatch GP circuit. But it won't end there. I'm trying to get my hands on a commentator for the 20th of April because I want to race, because what we're doing is the last race. After the last race, we're going to have the BMW M1 Pro Championship Cup. Now, if you remember the M1, they actually tried to do a championship with F1 drivers and all sorts of touring cars and single make series back in the early 80s. It lasted 2 seasons. I thought I'd try and replicate that rather than the classic cups we do in TTL and TTFL. So I'm hoping to race in that though, so I'm hoping to get a commentator so you guys can still watch it. So anyone out there fancies a one-off, give us a shout, we'll have a look at it. But here we go, we'll try one more time, and fingers crossed we have no more issues moving forward. While I'm just jumping through, let me run you through quickly the top 10 in the standings. So your championship leader is Gero on 214 points, Lyronics in second on 156, then it's McKinda for you in 156, Crusher Bro in 146, so second down to fourth place there, separated by 14 points. Jazza only 5 points behind in fifth on 141. Alan K's only 2 off of him on 139. Mason 105, Rappy on 82, Siege on 70, and Plaster on 60. Round out the top 10. You see Crusher Bro and Gero have got the front 2 rows of the grid. Lyronics has got third as well, and Rappy in fourth, with Maze getting fifth, Zebra 6th, Plaster 7th, Alan K in 8th, Saki in 9th, McKinda in 10th, and Jazza having been the pole man first time round on the random grid at the back of the field this time down. So hey, you can avoid the incidents hopefully, Jazz. That'll be the one thing to look out for. But we've got the Crusher Bro and Gero up at the front row there, and that could make for some very interesting racing. These two have obviously proven to be extremely quick already so far this season, and taken a number of wins between them. I believe we're now at, wait, where are we? 4. I've not got the stats in front of me because I've not got a page right now. I believe we're at 4 wins for Gero in total, and possibly even 3 for Crusher Bro, so it's looking really, really tight. In fact, I'll find it right now real quickly. So Gero's on 4 wins, Crusher's got 3. The only other winner so far is the Slovenian Kinda For You, which was at the first round feature race at Alton Park. So that is your winners so far, but we've got the 2 most winning drivers so far this season on the front row for this restart, and we're up to 11 racers as well, which is always good. Waiting for it to just hit the buttons to go ready in the lot. Hopefully it's going to happen very soon. There's a time limit, and if you don't hit ready, you get shot. I feel on myself forgetting to do that, so here's hoping everybody does hit the buttons. But here we go, hopefully in just a moment. Ticks down to 13, there we go. And we still got 11, hallelujah. Right, so, oh no, we've got 10, sorry, we've got 10, but kinda for you, never hit the button. Not good, but here we go, take number 2, and round number 5 is underway, and Crusher Bro got a great start. That's Alan Kay having an instant there, wheels off, and that was from with the Zebra as well. That was actually Plaster, sorry, at that instant. So we've got Wheels missing at the back. That's Plaster going to be out of the race already. Crusher Bro is up in the first, and Gero's dropped down to 4th place there, so he must have got a tank slapper coming out of turn 1. That's put Lyronics up into 2nd, Rappy onto 3rd, and Gero down to 4th. Not what he needed at the start of this race. Jazza already up to 5th from the back of the field, with Mays in 6th and Saki in 7th. Alan Kay is there in 8th, and the Zebra down in 9th position, and Plaster out of the race after that incident. Unsure quite what happened, just seen the incident cracking on in the background, but Crusher where he wants to be, up and out in front, going over the top of the rise, down the hill, through Butte Corner, and heading towards turns number 7. Now this is just all classed as turn 7, all of this whole section here. Don't know why, but there you go. You can see Rappy getting very close to the back of Lyronics there, but then getting a bit of a tank slapper coming out of that chicane. It's very cambered through there, very easy to do that, and obviously the German's struggling a bit there for traction, and it's giving Lyronics a chance to gain a little bit of a gap over him there. Gero is on now onto the back of Rappy as well. Jazza not too far, that was Rappy doing a spin I believe. Where is he? Oh, he's managed to hold it together, so that's good. Camera angle disappearing at the wrong point there. Jazza is in 5th place. You can see Saki there in 6th. Alan Kay in 7th position. Sorry, Mays in 7th position with Alan Kay in 8th. And the Zebra in 9th place. Crusher Bro crosses the line 2.2 seconds clear off the field at the end of lap number 1. And you can see that wheel from Plasters. It was his rear wheel. That's why he wasn't able to get back round and off onto the track. Alan Kay's had a spin at the back there. That's allowed the Zebra through up into 8th position for the American. So you'll be pretty happy with that one there, as Rappy still in 3rd. Got Gero not too far behind him. So he needs to be very careful. We're already through lap 1. We're already through 2.5 minutes here at Zolder as well. And we're carrying on up over the crest towards the chicane, the clean chicane. Very, very tricky corner here, very easy to get it wrong. Jump on board with a nose camera with Gero, and you can see the way the curbs are. They'll spit you towards the wall if you're not careful. Maybe very careful. Up and over the rise of the crest, through Butte Corner, and down it towards turns 7, the chicane section. Just catch the curb there. You can get a corner cut warning if you're not careful. You can see just the way it dips in at the second part, and then through the 2 right-handers here to end turn 7. Turn 8's a pretty easy over the crest left-hander. Just need to be careful it doesn't go too light on you as you go over the crest to turn number 8, which I'll pronounce them later on when I'm doing the hot lap, to be honest, because some of them are absolutely mental to try and pronounce. You've got Alan Kay trying to catch up to the back of Saki there. There they go, coming through, and the Saki getting out of the way there, so I wonder if he's got an issue of some description, as Rappy's just picked up a time penalty there for track limits, so he's the first one to fall foul of the track limit rule there. And Zebra's got a missing wing, front wing missing on his car, and I wonder if that's maybe an incident with Saki that's caused that one there. Crusher Bro's now 4 seconds clear of the field. Lyronics with a bit of a tank slapper through turn number 1. That's going to allow Rappy a great chance to attack him into turn number 2. He's unable to do anything. You can see it just gets so twitchy, these cars. It's a lot sunnier though than some of the races we have had, so it should help keep the temperature in the tyres a lot more than what we've seen in some of the races so far, and Rappy is looking very close at the moment and fancying his chances of getting through and past on Lyronix. In fact, he's going to make a move into the chicane, and he's got it done before they're up the along the outside, sorry. God, these camera angles switch very, very poorly. There we go, over the crest. You can see he's made a great move there to the outside, and Lyronix knew he couldn't really fight it into that chicane, backed out, gave him the place, and that's like Rappy up into P2, but he's really having to handle that car like an absolute bull. He's really struggling to keep it together through that section. That's 2 laps in a row now, that's in the case. There's Alan Kay trying to catch on to the back of Mays. We've got Saki's now retired from the race, so he is not going to score any points in this race any longer. Here comes Jero. Can he do anything? You can see Crusher Bro disappearing into the distance again, and at the moment Crusher's got the fastest lap, so he'll pick up the bonus point to go with it as well. So that's not the greatest thing for him. He needs to be doing it. Obviously, he said it there that he feels he said on Twitter that he feels he's got the championship pretty sewn up if he can keep going, but he needs to be finishing top 3, certainly top 2. 4th isn't the end of the world, but he won't want to be doing that too much. Big tank slipper there from from Lyronix, sorry, coming through turn number 1. Managed to hold it together, did the 59, but that car is a twitching, and Jero sneaks through and Rappy's off as well, so that's going to allow camera angle at the wrong point. That's going to allow Jero through up into second, so he's just, that was like the parting of the Red Sea there. The two Germans just disappeared to the side of the track. Lyronix has got himself up into 3rd, so Rappy's dropped 2 positions down to 4th, but Jero would have seen that like a Christmas present and went, thank you very much boys, I'll have some of that. And he's now up into 2nd place, but he's got 8 seconds to the man ahead of him, as Rappy, I thought, just lost control of the car there coming out of the chicane, but he's collected it together and managed to keep it on the track. You can see them just dipping their way through the chicanes at turn 7. Terlamanbocht. I told you these games were fun. Wait till you hear some of the rest of them. Down towards turn number 8, which I am not attempting to do while doing this race. No chance in the heck am I doing that one. Mays is trying to chase down Alan Kay, so the Irishman's got past at some point. That's moved him up to P6 and just catching the grass there, so that's just happened, I think, down into the chicane. So Alan Kay moving into 6th position as we come towards the end of lap number 4 to start a 5th lap, and the Crusher Bro is still extending his lead. He's now up to 9 seconds with half the race now done. They're going to the second half of this 15-minute race. Rappy's dropping off the back of these two, fighting over 2nd place between Jero and Lyronix. So not getting, you can see, still getting very twitchy. Coming through turn number 1 for another time. Jazza might fancy his chances of closing up to the back of him very shortly. But it is looking easy at the moment for Crusher. He'll just jump on board with his onboard camera, down the gears into the chicane, keeps it in 3rd, uses the curbs. Being in 3rd gear means no major issues with traction on the way out. Down the hill, New Butte, and up towards turn 7 chicane. Just watch the way this dips through here. A little bit of dip there, big dip there, which really unsettled the car, and then you're instantly changing direction again back to the right hand side. It can really upset the car, and it's a very, very tricky corner to get right. Meanwhile, Jero's managed to get his way through there as well, as Crusher Bros lighting up the timing screens. Purple sectors and sector 3 last lap, sector 2 this lap, so he's really going for it at the moment. Into the 1 minute 38, so these guys are still in the 1 minute 40s, so the Norwegian's looking pretty good around here this evening. It'll be interesting to see if Jero can find some speed, or if anybody can find some speed to take the challenge to the race leader. He's now nearly got it 10 seconds in advance as we follow this battle for 2nd between Jero and Lyronix. Lyronix managing to keep a tab on the championship leader as they come across the line to start their 6th lap now. It's a bit of a longer track than we usually have in this one. Not Kill next week, we'll be doing about 15 laps just to do the sprint race, so that'll be fun. Jero's run a bit wide there, but you can get away with that as long as you don't spin the wheels up on the curbing there. And you can see Lyronix just giving the curbs a bit of a wide berth, maybe feeling a wee bit more comfortable to just give them that wide berth where possible. You can see there the car just wanted to start heading towards the other direction a little bit there as he caught that exit curb out of turn number 3. Heading up towards turn 4, turn 5, sorry, which is the clean chicane. And you see Lyronix goes down second through there. I'm preferring to use the engine braking to slow the car down a bit more. And then overview, and that's obviously this track. Remember the history, of course, Belgium Grand Prix, the 1982 Belgium Grand Prix. Oh, Lyronix getting it very wrong there. Right at this point was where Gilles Villeneuve obviously had that horrible crash that took the life off the Canadian. That's why we now have that chicane there for turn number 7 as well at the bottom of Butte. So it's got a lot of history here, this track as well. It goes back a long, long way. But F1 Champ Car, Super League Formula, been here at one point as well, possibly. And all sorts of stuff have been to Zolder, and now the Formula C League has joined in the fray as well. 5 minutes to go, so that's 2/3 of the race done, 1/3 to go. And you can see Crusher Bro, fastest lap, 2 laps in a row. He's now got it into the 1 minute 37s. These guys are in the 39s now, as is Rappy, so he's just, well, he's made a 140 there. See a twitch there from Lyron. Oh, big twitch through turn 1. It's a tricky corner the way it is. You're trying to carry speed through. It shallows and it widens and it seems to shallow up again. It's very easy to get things wrong through there. You can see the German getting very twitchy, but he's keeping tabs on Gero very well through here at the moment. Less than a second between them. And you've got to feel if he can get close enough, he might fancy his chances. Just check the microphone. I thought I heard I was cutting out there, but I'm not, so that's good. Yeah, 1 minute 37.1 for Crusher. That's a phenomenal lap time up at the front of the field there. You see Rappy just coming through in the background there. Coming through one more time. Lyronix, can he do anything to get past on Gero? We're on board with the German now. You can see the car not wanting to turn in at first there into turn number 8 through the Rintbocht little kink there, named after Jochen. 10 is the Jackie X box, Jackie X corner basically, named after the famous Belgium driver, multiple-time F1 race winner, Le Mans winner, and yeah, there's lots of names all around here, but turn 8 is an absolute cracker. I'll tell you it later on, as I say. Wait till you hear me trying to pronounce it, it's fun. There you go. Oh, big slide from Lyronix there as we were on board. He's caught it one more time. That's going to allow Gero the chance to just pull a little bit of a gap over the German there, and again that car just getting a bit twitchy through turn number 1. Is obviously default setups in this league, of course. But yeah, very twitchy car there for Lyronix, just getting the back end stepped out, but good save, and kept himself on track for a podium of some description. Down to the last 2.5 minutes, the Crusher Bro leads the race by 14.4 seconds. You can see him, he's just catching up to the back of the Zebra there, who's in 8th position, having made a pit stop and replaced the front wing. I'm thinking that was an incident with Saki, who is now out of the race. It's caused that one. Lyronix was getting close there, but didn't manage to do very much. And Zebra keeps out of the way of the race leader and allows him to put the lap on him. Meanwhile, back up here, we've got Alan Kay somewhere. He was off track there because Mays has just overtaken him. So Alan Kay, I believe, has just been off the track there. The camera angle was looking into nowhere, unfortunately, but that is a move for Mays up into 6th place, with Alan Kay dropping down to 7th position. And I believe Alan has made a mistake through the turn 1, turn 2 section, and that's cost him 6th place in this race as we come into the final minute and a half now of this race. If we see where our race leader is, he's just started a lap, so it's quite possible this could end up being the last lap if he slows down a little bit, but might not be. We'll need to see. Possibly one more lap after this. We'll need to wait and see what happens. Lyronic's getting another tank slapper coming through turn number 2. Again, managing to hold it together one more time. Rappy's dropped off the back of these guys, and also dropping off the track as well. There's a little bit of lawnmower and a bit of beach travel driving as well, but he's managed to get it back on track, no problems at all. Quiet race for Jazza. Obviously had the pole position before the restart and started last, but he's managed to avoid all the hassle of lap 1, which seen Plaster have an incident that dropped him out of the race. So he's in 5th, and it's going to be decent points for him. Mays currently in 6th place, and he's pulled away from Alan, who's obviously dropped off after that mistake. And the Zebra down in 8th place, a lap down. There's Lyronix still trying to catch up to Gero. 30 seconds to go, and it's going to be one more lap because he's right at the finish line now as Crusher Bro. Not going to be able to slow it down, so one more lap to go. This is the final lap of the sprint race. That's good news for the German Lyronix, because this gives him another chance to try. He's got one more lap to try and get by Gero. We see Rappy with the red number 4, means he's got a time penalty. It is just 1 second, so as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, that won't affect him in the final standings. But we're on to the final lap of this first race. That's the timer now closed off, and they go one more time round the track, and then we'll have obviously the resetting into qualifying for the 35-minute feature race. But Gero looks like he's got enough at the moment on Lyronix to keep that 2nd place. The Crusher's on for the full 25 points from the feature, and the bonus point as well for the fastest lap of the race, being in the 1 minute 37.0 is the fastest lap. 137.053, that's what I was trying to say, thank you very much. So really quick lap time. These guys are in the 39s, but Crusher's just off and one more time. Seems to be on a bit of a different level when it comes to the times that he can set. Could be on for another Grand Slam, you never know. Could he do win fastest lap and pole and fastest lap in the winning feature? You never know. He'd done it in his first race at Snetterton. Could he do it one more time here tonight? But here he comes down towards the final corner, through the Jochenrindt corner, and up towards Jackie Xbox. I'm just going to call him turn 10, I'll tell you the other names in a minute. But over the line comes Crusher Bro. He's going to take his 4th victory of the season, I do believe that is. Across the line he comes, and it's a stunning victory from pole and the win, and that's the fastest lap of the race as well. Here comes the battle for 2nd. The Spaniard Gero is going to hold on to 2nd place from Lyronix, who's closing him, is not able to be close enough, and that's Gero in 2nd, Lyronix in 3rd. So Gero doing what he needs to do. Rappy coming across the line, he's going to take 4th position. You can see Alan Kay still trying to battle with Mays, actually, the side-by-side coming up the hill as Rappy goes across the line there in 4th place. But we jump back to these two battling through Butte and down towards the turn 7 chicane section, and it's side-by-side. Who's going to get the move? Mays holds on to that position after Alan got through, and Alan onto the grass there just running wide, and Mays takes that position. Jazza crosses the line in 5th, and now we wait for the battle between these two. Zebra's over the line in 8th, a lap down. Who takes 6th position between Mays and Alan Kay? We've seen them close together on the track a few times. That's a mistake under braking by Mays. Can Alan capitalise? He's not close enough, unfortunately, and there's only 2 more corners to go, even though it's classed as 1. And Mays just needs to get his braking right into this corner. Nice and easy. Take the curb in, don't spin the wheels up, and out the final corner he comes, and it'll be 6th position for Mays and 7th position for Alan Kay to round out the sprint race here at Zolder. Across the line, and that is the end of race number 1, and it is a victory for the Crusher Bro with a 1 minute 37.0 fastest lap for the bonus point as well. Gero in 2nd, 1 minute 38.6, with Lyronix in 3rd to done the fastest lap of 38.8. Rappy in 4th, he done a 39, everyone else was 140 or higher. Jazza quiet race in 5th, Mays in 6th place, Alan Kay in 7th, and the Zebra finishes in 8th place, but it's decent points that he picks up, and you can see a 1 minute 40.5 means that he would be right up and amongst the middle of the pack if he didn't have the wing damage on lap 1 forcing him into a pit stop. So that is the end of race number 1. We'll await now for Alan to reset the lobby to the qualifying session and to the 35-minute race for the feature race. Decent race for race number 1, not as much overtaking, but it is a tricky track, a lot of close cars about. We've seen Rappy and Lyronix and Gero having a little bit of a battle before Gero was able to get through with the parting of the German Sea, basically, between Lyronix and Rappy, as they made mistakes into turn 1 and 2. But I'm looking forward to the feature race. The pit stop side of things will make it very interesting indeed as we go on. So while Alan is setting the lobby up, I'm just going to go quiet for a wee moment here while I catch my breath, and we'll be back with you in just a second. So we await the start of the feature qualifying session for round number 5 here at Zolder. Just waiting to see who joins us. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 9 drivers in the lobby. We did have 11 earlier on. Saki and Plaster are not there at the moment. Hopefully they are going to rejoin us. It would be nice. But we'll wait and see what's going on in just a moment's time, and then we will be getting underway very, very shortly. We've got 50-minute qualifying session coming up, and then we've got the 35-minute feature race, which obviously does include the mandatory pit stop for the drivers. Plaster's rejoined us, so we're back up to 10 drivers, so that's fantastic to see that. And hopefully Saki will be rejoining us as well to bring us back up to 11. Should be very nice indeed. It kind of, for you, obviously missed out in the first race. Obviously got stuck in the garage, I think is what happened, meaning he was unable to hit the ready button in time. Done that myself, so it's not fun. Unfortunately it's just the way it goes. Obviously we did have the one restart. There was quite a few connection issues that can obviously warrant for a restart. Obviously things going on. We've seen Maze obviously dropped out. He was left an empty spot in grid number 4. Obviously Alan Kay never got moving at all. Something went on. It was just not good. So we managed to get restarted and get the race underway. So that was good. Hopefully we can get Saki back, and I hope so, because I would like to see us back up to a full complement of 11 drivers that we did have for the start of race number 1. Now, if you're watching along, well, thank you very much. I always love the fact that everybody is along and watching. Likes it. Man of Steel's been an absolute regular, you legend. Who wants to hear me absolutely butcher some corner names? Go on, tell me you want to hear it. Who wants it? Tell me in the chat. Who wants to hear me butcher the corner names around Zolder? Come on. Because there's some, if you've ever looked at the track map, you'll know there's some absolute crackers. Right, okay. At everyone, basically. Absolutely crusher. So, turn 1's a bit of an easier one. That's Ersti, I think is how you pronounce that one. Turn 2, Sterrenwachtbocht. Turn number 3, Kannebocht. Number 4, just before you head towards the chicane, is Lucienbachboch. The chicane is a clean chicane, then you've got the curve over the crest, which is Boot. Turns number 7, which is the chicane section, is Terlamenbocht. Turn number 8 I'll come back to in a wee minute. Turn 9, which is the wee kink section, heading towards the last section of corners, as I say, is the Jochen Rindbocht, and the last 2 corners is the Jackie Xbox. But that turn number 8, the hairpin at the back end of the track, this is a good one. Boulderberg Harrespielblocht, I think is how you pronounce that. I am not going to try and pronounce it during the race. There is just absolutely no chance of me doing that. If I have butchered Klingon, it might as well be in Klingon there, man of steel, for what it was. But yeah, that turn 8 is an absolute cracker of a name. But here we go. We've got the drivers out on the track. We've got everybody out on track except for Maze and Plaster, who have done this before, would have stayed in the garage for the start of the session. Let's try to see who's first out on track. I believe it's Crusher Bro, winner of race number 1. So we will follow the Norwegian round for a lap off the track in just a moment. All but 2 drivers are out on track for the start of qualifying. And you see Crusher getting a bit sideways there over the crest, heading towards the Klingon corner. There we go. It's called Klingon. There we go. That's it. Turn 8's Klingon. That's it there. There we go. Sorted. So we'll just jump to cockpit camera. There we go. So here we go for the start of the lap here at Zolder. 2.492 miles. It says it's 10 corners, it's because they multiply a few of them up, but here we go. We'll take you through them, heading towards turn number 1. And you're looking for the braking zone just about that marker board there, just before it. Nice and easy, a nice clip of the curve. You see Crusher keeping it in 4th gear to minimise wheel spin. Nice and smooth up to there. Doesn't bother changing up down to 3rd gear for turn 2. Doesn't quite get it into the apex properly. A little bit of a twitch on the exit. And then through turn number now, nice and easy flat out corner, windmills to the left hand side, down to turn 4, no braking needed there, no downshift, just off the throttle, and then heading up towards turn 5, which is the Clean chicane, about the only track corner apart from Butte that I can pronounce. Down to 3rd gear, clip the inside curb, straight line across, you still got 2 wheels in the track, over the rise, sticks to the left hand side here through Butte, and then into turn 7 section, the chicane at the back end of the track. Through there you can see how it dips through the curve, got to be careful on applying the throttle, car can get away from you as you can see there. Crusher having to make a correction through the end of turn 7, up towards turn 8, the little kink of the left hander over the crest, and then into Klingon, down the gears into 2nd, around about 80, 60, oh, big tank slapper on the way out there, through Jochen Rindt through turn 9, which is that little section there, and then into the final 2 corners, the Jackie X at the back end of the track. Want to break around about this under the bridge there, down to 2nd gear, clip the inside curve nicely, take the line through there, get on the power, up through the gears, across the line we go. What's the lap time? Let's have a look. And it is the 1 minute 37.3 from Crusher, so that is the time that the rest of them have to aim for. The Zebra's put himself into 2nd on a 1 minute 42.0. Here comes Gero heading towards the line as Lyronics has put himself into 2nd now on a 40.4. What can the championship leader do as he heads to the line? Rappy with not a representative time. 1 minute 40.2 from Gero, but 2.9 seconds down on Crusher Bro's pole time at the moment. It just shows you. In fact, Jazza puts himself up into 2nd as well. He's done a 39.7. Good lap time there from Jazza. McKinda for you into 5th place in a 1 minute 40.6. Look out for him improving. He's done that in previous qualifying sessions. Once he gets the tyres up to temperature, finds a bit more speed in the car. Alan Kay has put himself in 7th on a 1 minute 42.999. Say Rappy, the other one, they've set a time so far in 8th. It was a 1 minute 50.2, so that's still not representative for what he can do. Maze and Plaster still deciding they prefer to sit in pit lane and watch this one out. 2 seconds, sorry. Sorry about that, just had to get a quick drink there. So Crusher is coming across the line now to complete a second flying lap. Is it an improvement? It's a 36.5. Wow, what a lap time. He is 3.2 clear of anybody else right now. That is a stonker of a lap time there from the Norwegian. Gero now coming towards the line. That's Lyronics, I believe, heading back for pit lane maybe. Yes, he is. It's Lyronics in pit lane. So Rappy up to second there as he crossed the line just ahead. Gero now moves up to second on a 38.7. But it shows you the Crusher Bros time, still 2 seconds off the pace at the moment in this qualifying session. There's McKinda for you, improving on his second lap time up to a 38.5, 2 seconds down and just a 10th clear of Gero's lap time. So your top 5 at the moment is the Crusher Bro up in first place as he comes through the turn 7 section in Termalenblocht, the back end of the track. McKinda for you, the Slovenian, in second place. Third place for Gero, your championship leader, coming up to the clean chicane. Fourth place for Rappy over the rise of Butte there, and fifth place for Jazza, who's just making his way through the chicane just now. The Zebra, the American, in sixth place. He'll be hoping to avoid wing damage this time by that he had in race number 1. Lyronics has just come back out of pit lane. He's in 7th, and Alan Kay is in 8th place and taking a very unconventional line through the chicane, and that's obviously going to impact on his lap time, although he's already been invalidated this time due to track limits. Crusher Bro again goes quicker, only a couple of tenths this time, but he's down to the 36 freeze. Where does he find this speed? Unbelievable. There's Rappy just up ahead of Gero. He's coming through to complete his latest lap. Half the qualifying already done. Can the German improve on a 39.1? And he does indeed to 38. No, it's 38.0. So up into second he goes. Gero as unable to he improves up to a 38.1, just ahead of McKinda for you, who does not improve on that lap time going through. So he's now down to fourth. Jazza just in behind there in 5th position. The Zebra still in 6th. Lyronics in 7th now, and Alan Kay crossing the line for his latest lap, but that will be invalidated, so that won't count. Mace has joined the action halfway through the session, so he's decided to get involved, and Plaster is still deciding he prefers to sit it out in the garage with a cup of tea and a biscuit. Whoa, big moment for there. He completely clattered the curb through the chicane. That'll much halfway back Hockenheim if you're not careful at last week's race. That's a very tricky curve. It will pitch you if you get it wrong, and that can cause damage to the car, so you need to be very careful. And you can see there Rappy getting sideways there, just getting on the power a bit too quick out of the chicane section. And I think he might be heading back for pit lane. Possibility maybe the car's damaged. Let's jump on board, see. Yeah, he's steering towards, you can see he's steering towards the left hand side a bit. And I think that car's got a bit of suspension damage from lift off a few moments ago. Now watch this on the straight here. Is he straight? His steering wheel does seem straight, so maybe it's not as bad as I thought. But he is heading for pit lane, so he is into the pits now. So there must be some damage to that car as Gero goes across the line onto a 37.6, so he's got himself within 1.3 seconds as Mays crosses the line just ahead of McKinda for you and Jazza. Jazza goes across, doesn't improve. McKinda for you's not able to improve either. Mays decides to bail out of the way there to avoid getting in the way. McKinda for you, huge slider through turn number 1, manages to hold it together, but that's not going to help his lap time at all in any way, shape or form. Crusher Bro still in provisional pole with 5 minutes left in the session. He's heading down towards Klingon just now, and into the right hander he goes, getting a bit side. Wanting to obviously get closer to that exit curb for the best exit speed. He's heading towards the finish line now, last couple of corners, and you can see he's pretty much got the track to himself. The nearest car to him ahead is into turn 2 and just coming out of pit lane, and the nearest car behind is just coming up towards turn 8 at the moment. So does Crusher improve on his lap time again? Nope, he does not. He got an invalidation through the last corner there for cutting the track limits a little bit, and it is easy to do around here, catching the track limits. You got to be very, very careful, especially through that chicane at turn 7. It's a very easy thing to do. Gero meanwhile heading towards the end of his lap now. What does he fancy doing? Does he improve in his 37.6? Can he get himself into the 36s at all? Here he goes over the line. Is it an improvement from Spaniard? It's a 37.2, so it is an improvement. The gap's now down to under a second, but he's still got 9/10 to find, and he's got 4 minutes to do so, so he's got probably enough time to do 2, maybe 3 more laps in qualifying to see if he can catch up to the Norwegian ahead, who has got another lap invalidation penalty on this lap, so he's not going to be improving this time by, I don't think. Rappi in third place coming through Klingon at the back end of the track. The car's still twitchy and getting sideways as he comes through turn 9 and heading towards turn 10. Just weaving the car about, so this is his out lap, having just came into the pits a few laps ago after takeoff, so he'll just be lining it up just now to have another go. But kinda for you in 4th position. Jazzas came in and coming back out of pit lane. So he's weaving his way down this pit lane there, getting the tyre temperatures up. Lyronic's in 6th place at the moment. The Zebra coming back out of pit lane in 7th. Alan Kay doing a bit of guarding in there in 8th. And Mays is in 9th position, coming over the rise of Crest Plaster. Still in pit lane, and Alan Kay's decided he doesn't want to be a lawnmower anymore and has went to the pits as well. Crusher Bros now onto a fresh lap, so hopefully no invalidations for him this time. We'll see if he can make any improvement to that stunning pole position time he's got at the moment in the final 2.5 minutes of the session. Where is Gero? Can he improve on another lap time from a 37.2? No, 4 temps down on his best lap delta there. You see it on the screen in the middle, so not the lap time he wanted there. Rappi coming down to the chicane. That is Jazza in behind him as Mick Kinda for you gets a huge tank slapper out of the corner, drifting his way through the final turn across the line. It's an improvement a little bit there, but only by 7/100ths of a second there. Stays in 4th place at the moment, but just gains himself a little bit of time over Jazza behind, and Rappi, who is in 3rd position. Jazza lining it up here for a lap time. He maybe just wants to back off the rear end of that Rappi's car behind, but he knows he's got the Zebra in behind him as well, who will be trying to get his own lap time in, so need to be careful. Let's see what you can do. Come across the line, so Rappi over the line. Does he improve in a 38.0? He does not. It kinda for you's going through. Jazza's not improved either, and the Zebra, no improvement from him, still in 7th place. Crusher is in a pit lane, so he's decided he doesn't want to carry on. There he is there. It's a tricky pit lane as well, very easy to get it wrong, and that'll be the last we see from the Norwegian in qualifying. Meanwhile, Gero heading towards the final corners now. He's got time for 1 more lap after this. Got 1 minute 20 to go. Can he get a good exit out of the final corner, heading towards the line? Any improvement on a 37.2 from the Spaniard? He does. It's now a 37.0. He gets within 7/10 of a second of the Crusher Bro up front. This is his final lap, his final chance to close that gap, or the Crusher will be taking another pole position from this event, and I think that would be possibly even 4 pole positions in a row maybe as well. I'm going to need to consult my spreadsheet real quickly for that, because I'm actually not 100%. Pole positions, yeah, he's taken 3 so far, and he's been here since round 2, so this could be he's taken pole at every round so far, has Crusher. So the possibility here for the Norwegian to take his 4th pole in 4 races that he's done. Gero's gone into pit lane, so it's not going to be the Spaniard. Rappi heading for the line, a bit sideways out the final corner. Can he improve? He's got enough time to go up the line and do 1 more lap. Improvement at all? He's down on his time, so it's not good for him. Jazza's gained 7/10 in that lap, but still in 6th place as the clock ticks down to the final few seconds. And that is the end of the session. So let's see who's coming towards the end of a lap just now. That's Jazza starting a lap there just now. At the moment Zebra has got across the line, it looks like, in the nick of time, so he's good at the moment. Plaster's on track as well to get a lap time in too, so keep an eye on that. Who is heading for the line? It's McKinda for you, who's coming into Klingon corner now, and I think it's not going to make a difference because I think he might invalidate his lap time. Look at the race feed in the bottom right hand corner, track limits, lap time invalidated. So I get the feeling he might just fly into pit lane. He's going to try and finish the lap. We'll see if it's an improvement in any way at all. He's obviously decided to really push the limits on this final lap. He crosses the line now. Rappy's pulled in for pit lane, he's retired out. So McKinda for you will start in 4th place. Here comes Lyronics towards the line. He'll be the next one to cross over. The only other 2 drivers on track on a lap are the Zebra and Plaster, currently in 7th and 10th place. Lyronics comes into the 2nd in the championship. Can he improve on 5th position? Just needs to find a couple attempts to go ahead of McKinda for you into 4th. Can he do it over the line? No, he cannot. It is not an improvement from the German. He will start in 5th place. Here comes Zebra through the final 2 corners, getting a bit squirrely on the way through, but it looks at it there. Over the line, does it improve on a 39.9? And no, he does not. So Plaster, but the last one to cross the line, just catching the grass there as into the braking zone, very carefully through there, taking it easy by the looks of it, and heads towards the line now for the end of the session. Crosses the line, and he will be, well, we'll find out where he is in a minute. It will be interesting. We shall see. He finished in 10th, it was an invalidated lap time. So Crusher Bro takes his 4th pole position in 4 races, 4 on the trot for the Norwegian, but Gero is not too far behind in 2nd place. So Crusher in 1st, you got Gero in 2nd, Rappy in 3rd, McKinda for you in 4th for the Slovenian, 5th place for Lyronics, 6th for Jazza, 7th for the Zebra, 8th for Alan K, 9th for Maze, and 10th place for Plaster, who we're hoping to get beyond the finish line actually, because that's about as far as he got in race 1 before he lost his rear wheel. So just waiting on the drivers readying up, and considering we've got 35 minutes ahead of us, I'm going to take a moment to get myself another drink. I'll be back in a wee second. Oh cricks, here we go. So, feature race ahead of us here. The revs are rising for the final time tonight. And we are underway. Rappy's got a good start. Looks like McKinda for you is going to try and make it 3 wide with Rappy and Gero. And it's on contact between Gero and McKinda for you. Huge incident there. There's tyres across the track. Unbelievable. They just got 3 wide and we got McKinda for you upside down. He's managed to reset himself. 3 wheels on that car. And he's going to try and make his way back to pit lane. Unsure what happened there, but he's now minus the wheel. And Gero's retired from this race, so Gero is retired out of race. Now that was a strange one, I'm not too sure what happened, not good to see at all, but the Crusher Bro's not getting it his own way down towards the chicane, because Rappy is all over the back of that number 2 machine, heading into the chicane. Lyronics in 3rd, Jazza up to 4th, you've got the Zebra in 5th as they take the bollards out, and Rappy's going to try and go the long way round Butte, but he's not able to do so, pulls back in behind the Norwegian into the chicane and has to hold on for now. You can see the top 5 have pulled clear of everybody else, and Rappy's looking very racy in this early stage of the feature race on the back of Crusher. You can see Jazza's trying to do what he can onto the back of Lyronics in the background as well, but huge incident. Lap number 1 has seen Gero retire from the race, and that could have huge implications in the championship later on, but I get the feeling that might be debated in the stewards room later on after proceedings tonight, but we'll need to wait and see what happens there. You can see the top 5 in the picture, and that is a slow move in Mr. Alan K, it looked like in the background. No, it's Plaster who's taking it easy through there in 8th position. position. And where is McKinda for you real quickly before we see where is that car? He's trying his best. Look at that, it is absolutely wrecked, that car. He's doing his best to get back to pit lane. Meanwhile, back up to the front, Rappy is all over the back of Crusher like an absolute rash, and now he's just ended up into the gravel, pushing it too hard, and it's popped him off the track, and he's now going to lose 3 places and drop down to 5th place, and that's not what you want to be doing at the start of a race. So not good there from Lyronix. Meanwhile, Jazza running wide there, coming out of turn number 4. He won't want to be doing that too many times during the race itself. That's going to give the Zebra a chance into the chicane. Not really an overtaking zone. How hard it is. Oh, that is off the track. You can see there, that's McKinda for you, trying to get back to pits because he knows to get points you need to finish the race. Meanwhile, the Zebra's got a great run on Jazza up towards the chicane at turn number 7. Can he do anything? No, he has to pull back in. Jazza able to get later on the brakes and hold on to 3rd position. That's the battle for the final podium position. That mistake from Rappy though has given Crusher the chance to try and pull away from everyone else. He's already got 2 seconds over Lyronix. Meanwhile, the Zebra tries to go up the inside into Klingon, but no, not able to do so. Jazza holds on to 3rd position for the meantime, and they're both closing up to the back of Lyronix pretty quickly at this rate. You can see top 4 all in one picture. Crusher just going out of it. There's Lyronix, Jazza 3rd, Zebra in 4th, and that is Rappy in 5th. Up behind, and he's already picked himself up a time penalty of 1 second for track limits, and that's not what you want to be doing early on in this race. Meanwhile, back down the field, Maze is in 6th place, Alan Kay in 7th. Once again, these two on the track all over the place. Not all over the place, sorry, but always quite close together on track, and they're proving it one more time. McKinda for you, 3 wheels are missing. You can see the engine there, you can see the suspension moving. He's nearly made his way to Klingon. He's trying his absolute best to get to the end. It's a good job he put a button on to reset himself, which you can only do if you're in an upside down position, really. And if he hadn't done that, he would have had to retire. So he's going to try and get back and score some points. He'll probably end up 9th unless someone else retires, but points are points, and that's what matters at the end. Oh, the Zebra's made a mistake there through the clean chicane. He's just clipped the curbing, caught the wrong angle, it's pitched the car into a spin, and the American drops his way down to 5th position. That puts Rappy back up into 4th place, and that allows Maze and Alan Kay the chance to close up. In fact, these two pretty close together as well. One more time over the rise through Butte Corner towards turn number 7 section. But he's holding that position for now. Meanwhile, we jump back to the battle for 2nd and 3rd between Lyronix and Jazza. Crusher, he's got some 3 seconds up the road. There he is. Oh, and oh no, sorry, I thought it was Crusher for a minute. It's a bit kinda for you, limping his way back to pit lane. I just seen a white car there. I thought it was the race leader, but it's kinda for you, the Slovenian, making his way back with the 3 wheels and the missing engine cover. And he's now heading back for pit lane. Jazza is still trying to make his way through on Lyronix. Bit of a twitch there from the German coming through turn 1. We've seen that a few times in race 1. Jazza is now going to try and fancy his chances, trying to make his way through up the inside, but not able to do so at this point in time. Not able to do so at the moment. Alan Kay still onto the back of McKinda for you. McKinda for you is actually stuck at the side of the track, so I wonder if that's the end of his race. He needs to be in control of that car at the end to finish, and it looks like he might be stuck. I'm not sure if he's having some issues or anything at all with his wheel, and he has retired from the race. So we're down to 8 drivers. He's done a valiant effort to try and get back to pit lane, but he's unable to do so. Jazza trying his best to try and get onto the back of Lyronix. Sorry about that, little bit of radio silence there. As well, I got dealt with a few wee bits there. So Jazza still trying his best to close onto the back of Lyronics. Now, they're only 4 seconds behind Crusher. They're setting similar lap times to the Norwegian in the 1 minute 40s. Rappy's in the 39s at the moment, as is the Zebra. So these guys are showing some good pace up front, and a good chance for some points here moving forward. Alan Kay has got himself past on Maze up into 6th place, so that puts Maze down to 7th, and Plaster is somewhere, there he is, coming through York and Rint, and he's currently down in 8th place, running around at the back of the field just now. Into the chicane we go for the 5th time, and Jazza in 3rd place, trying to chase down Lyronics and do what he can, just dropping off a little bit at the moment. So we're going to jump to the battle between Alan Kay and Maze, which is over 6th and 7th place. We jump onto the cockpit camera from the position of Maze, heading towards the clean chicane for the 5th time for them. You can just see the Irishman's car up ahead coming into the chicane. Oh, Maze getting that very wrong as we're on board, and he's spun it, and he's just turned into the corner a bit too early, and it's pitched him onto that huge curb, and it's pushed him right off the track and wide, and that's going to drop him down and cost him time in his battle with Mr. K, and he's going to obviously drop down the field now a little bit, and he's going to have to make that time back up in the race. 26 minutes to go, so we're already 10 minutes into this feature race. And remember, everyone's still got to make a pit stop as well during this race. Crusher Bro is your race leader. He's 4.5 seconds clear of the battle here between Lyronics and Jazza in 2nd and 3rd. Rappy trying to close back up to them in 4th after harassing the race leader over the first few laps before making a mistake right here at turn number 2, where he ended up doing a bit of sand gravel trapping. Here's the Zebra in 5th place, we're looking for some good points. Alan Kay in 6th, got that little bit of a gap over Maze now after that mistake from the 43 machine, and Plaster somewhere towards the end of Clinging Corner, there he is, he's in 8th place running around. Probably quite happy to just have his own race at the back end of the field there. Jazz has dropped off the back of Lyronics by a couple of seconds there, so I wonder if he's maybe made a little mistake coming through the chicane section. That's going to allow Rappy the chance to close up onto the back of these guys as well, onto the back of them Jazza as well, so needs to be careful not to make too many mistakes. Jazza, we've seen it a few times from him, just overdrives the car on occasions, makes a few mistakes that are just not needed, and can cost him some places in time, but he's definitely quick. He's in the 1 minute 40s, but the guys ahead, there's Crusher onto a 38.3 with Lyronics and Rappy both in the 39s, 39.4, 39.8, so he needs to be kind of matched number. He is going to drop off. He's got 2.5 seconds to Lyronics, he's got 3.5 seconds to Rappy, so he's got the gap at the moment, but he needs to try and close back up to the back of the Lyronics car up ahead to come through turn number 1. He's gone wide, he's on the gravel, and he's spun across the track. Can he hold it? Slams the brakes on, and he's held it together so he doesn't get any damage, but that means, just as I was talking about it, Rappy's able to sneak through into 3rd place due to that mistake from Jazza. I'm sure Man of Steel will be very disappointed to see his man making a mistake there and losing the position, but there's still a long way to go in this race, still a chance to close back up if he can just calm down, keep it together, don't make a move into that chicane because it's not really on, and we'll see. Yes, he holds on, so that's good for him at the moment, so he just needs to regroup now. Where is Rappy? There he is. I thought he'd disappeared towards the sunset there, just coming off the screen, but still in 3rd place. Remember, he's got a 1 second time penalty at the moment as well, so that is going to obviously have an effect on his finishing time. Your race leaders just came out of Klingon Corner, heading towards the final 2 turns. It's looking pretty easy for him at the moment. And the 38's in the last lap. got himself a 6.5 second gap at the moment, has Norwegian. And it'll just be a case of when does he come into pits. Meanwhile, oh, incident going on. Rappy's minus his rear wheel. Jazza's gone through, and Rappy looks like he might have to retire from this race, and he has. And we have lost another one, a rear wheel off the back of that car, and unable, he's not far from pit lane either, but 3 wheels with a rear wheel missing is a very hard one to roll back. And we have lost another one, unsure quite what happened. I was just about to jump back to them as I noticed the explanation mark come up, and just as I do, Jazz is into 3rd place, and Rappy is in the wall with a minus a rear wheel. So we're down to 7 drivers here, which is not what we like. It's unfortunate that to be the case, but that's the kind of things that can happen in motor racing. You can have accidents. So it means the field are pretty spread out at the moment. Man of Steel's happy at that one because it means his man's up into 3rd position. Zebra's just gone off the track there. Where is he? There he is. He's came back on now. So I've just seen him in the background there. He had gone into the gravel, but he's now in 4th position. So it's going to be a good result for him if he can keep going. Alan Kay still in 5th. He's got 5 seconds roughly over Mays in 6th, and there is Plaster in the 34 machine in 7th position, just heading into the final 2 corners just now. But he's at the back of the field, and you see that tyre there at the top of the screen on the left hand side in the grass. That belonged to Rappy's number 59 machine. You can see his teammate Lyronics going through. In fact, it's the 58 machine, sorry, Lyronics is in the 59. I get the numbers mixed up. And he's now 9 seconds down, flying the German flag for those 2. He's in 2nd place at the moment, 2nd place in the championship as well, remember. So that's Migero now out of this one. There's a possibility of some good points to gain over the Spaniard in this one for Lyronics. It will also be the same for this man Crusher, who has been pretty dominant since coming in. Gero's been the one giving them the most trouble through the races. Remember Silverstone, just how close they were, and Crusher made that mistake on the final lap at Stowe Corner to cost himself the sprint victory there. But that's going to put Crusher further up the standard, especially if he's now looking like he's going to take a weekend Grand Slam one more time in this. But Lyronics will try his best. You know he can do the lap times, but 39s aren't going to be enough when Crusher's doing 37s. So I need to wait and see what goes on in this situation. Jazza in 3rd, running around. He's got about 9 seconds to Lyronics, and he's got himself a 6-second gap, or a 7-second gap roughly, to the Zebra up ahead. Alan Kay down in 5th place at the moment, with Mays in 6th and Plaster in 7th. And that is your 7 runners and riders that are going around the field here. So plenty going on here. We've seen 3 retirements. McKinda for you, Rappy and Gero. Gero and McKinda for you involved in a first lap incident in the run up to turn 1. Hard to tell quite what happened from the camera angle. McKinda for you got a great start, pulled alongside Rappy and Gero in the battle for turn 1, and then contact happened. McKinda for you ended up upside down, missing a front wheel, his front wing, his rear wing and his engine cover. Well, Gero was missing details as well and retired from the race. And then we don't know quite what happened to Rappy, but that's his tyre in the background there. Battling with Jazza through Klingon and Jochen Rindt, and he ended up in the wall somewhere, and he is dropped out of the race as well. And a good chance of points for others around them though to keep this one rolling. It's looking good for Crusher, and you can see he's only 4 tenths off his best sector time at the moment. Lyronics coming up to lap Plaster in just a moment's time. He's around about 6 tenths off on his sector 2 time. He's probably going to try and keep it simple as Plaster gets out of the way there to allow Lyronics to lap him. Said it before, Plaster very aware of his surroundings, very quick driver, but just not finding these Formula C cars to his liking. That might change for Season 2, because obviously we will have a vote on if we continue with this car series or change to something different moving forward for Season 2. But we've got a few more rounds to go yet before that. There's the Zebra in 4th position. And I think if I go to my standings that I've got, where are we? Here we go. Zebra's best finish so far he's just had the one finish, which was in the sprint race at Silverstone, where he picked up 10 points in that race. So that's all he's managed so far. So it's going to be a good tally of points here if he can get to the end of this race. TTG Racing TV, there's Gero in the chat. Good night to you, Gero. I'll speak to you soon in regards to it, my friend. And into pit lane comes both Alan Kay and Mays. So these two following each other through pit lane as well. And they're the first drivers to come into pit lane to make their mandatory pit stop. You can see Alan Kay's pit crew just up ahead. Maisie's is first, and well, what's Alan Kay doing? That's a strange one. Maybe his pit crew isn't there. Wow, Mr. Kay's getting it all wrong. Is he pitted in the wrong pit box? Who knows? That's a strange one, and I've caught it on the stream. You won't be chuffed with that. Yeah, he's pitted in the wrong pit box. He's unsure. You need to change your settings to show which one it is, Alan. I'll need to show you. Very embarrassing mistake there for the Irishman, as he pits into the wrong pit box and thought he'd overshot it. Lyronix just came into pit lane now, so he pits from P2 in this race. Hopefully he doesn't make the same mistake of picking the wrong pits. Up there is his pit crew, and he drops into his marks very easily indeed. So when does Crusher come into the pits then? Just over 15 minutes to go at the moment. Jazza now moves up into second with Lyronix in pit lane. Ooh, a mistake there from Crusher through the chicane. Had to just kind of hop it across the chicane there. He's managed to get himself on the track and keep going, but that is a mistake from the race leader, and too many of those could cost him a good result here. Lyronix is back out on track just behind the Zebra. You can see the Zebra going through there. Lyronix is in pit lane. There he is there. So that's him into pit lane, coming out of pit lane now. And you can see Alan Kay closing into the back of Plaster, in similar liveried cars, basically teammates in this. And Plaster coming over the rise off the crest. Alan Kay has made his pit stop, remember, after that mistake in pit lane, getting the wrong pit crew, which is a bit embarrassing. He's going to try and make his way past Plaster here. Plaster still at pit. You'd imagine that Alan will be able to get this move done very shortly indeed through Plaster. In fact, much better run out of the second of those left-handers, and he is through and up into 6th position. So it's 6th place now for Alan Kay. Plaster drops down to 7th. Crusher carrying on. He's not pitted yet. There is second place man Jazza. He's not been into the pits either yet, although he is now. Just as I say that, he heads for pit lane. And you can see just how hard this pit lane is. You can attack it, but you can really make a mistake through there, and it will cost you. So Jazza into pit lane from P2 on the road, looking for his pit crew halfway down the pit lane there, you can see. So he's now into the pits. That puts the Zebra through and up into second place. Plaster's also heading for pit lane as well, so he's making his mandatory stop. So that means the only drivers still left to pit are the Zebra and Crusher Bro, first and second. Everyone else has now made that mandatory pit stop in this race so far. Crusher Bro leading quite comfortably. He's got a 41 second lead over the Zebra thanks to Lyronix and Jazza's pit stops. And Jazza comes back out. He's coming through the pit lane, very wide bit of pit lane there. You just see him now coming into shot. He rejoins in 4th place, and he's got a gap to Lyronix ahead of 14 seconds. He does. Crusher Bro The race leader is now into pit lane, trundling down. He's got that first pit box right at the start of the pit lane itself. Comes to a halt nice and easily, and the pit crew do whatever it is they need to do, and he's underway now. As I say, that's what you can do. You don't need to change tyres, it's entirely driver choice, and he's decided that he's quite happy with what he's got. He's came to his stop, he's came in, made a stop, came to a complete halt in his pit box, back underway, and that's totally within the rules. You don't need to actually change tyres during this race. Zebra now means he's the only driver still to pit, and as we speak the American heads for pit lane. So the Zebra finally pits. We're into the 12.5 minutes to go roughly, and everybody now has made their mandatory pit stop as Zebra comes down pit lane. You can see Lyronix there coming through. He is going to go through up into third position. Alan Kay back into pit lane, so I wonder if the Irishman's got some issues with his car, because he's already made his pit stop, and this is a second stop for Mr. K. Zebra having to wait until Alan pulls through. This time Alan does find his pit box without any problem, and he stops on his marks, and he's still waiting, and he's underway, is he? No, the pit crew is allowing it to be underway, so that's damage repair. That's what's going on there. He's still in the pit box and not moved yet, so that is damage he's had to pit for. No visible damage to that car, so it must have been some suspension damage underneath that has caused him to make a second pit stop in this race. So we're into 11 and a bit minutes to go, and if you fancy being in the league, you could maybe still join for the last few races of the season. We do have a number of drivers, but obviously there's some, not everybody's able to make it each week, so if you do fancy your chances, you want to maybe be involved in the race and get involved in being on this stream next week, give us a shout. Next week, we, as I said earlier on, we go to Knockhill in Fife in Scotland, my home country, my home circuit. Very quick track, very technical track as well, and it's very short. It's only just over about a mile and a bit long, so if you fancy your chances around there, give me a shout. Andy81287. You can drop me a message either on PSN or on Twitter, or just follow the Twitter page for the league, which is TT_PCars, as the race leader spins through turn number 4, locks up the brakes to avoid connecting with the wall, locked it down, avoided contact. He's lucky on that one there. He holds on to the lead. He's got a 20-second gap, but managed to avoid contact. Now, has he damaged anything suspension wise though, would be a question. There was a clump of the curb into turn 4. Doesn't look like it's caused any problems. Oh my goodness me, Mays lost it. Coming down the hill, he got sideways and Crusher's gone straight into him, unable to react in time. Huge incident. Mays is on his side, Crusher's minus his front wing, and it looked like Mays just got sideways coming out of the corner. I wonder if somebody will give him a nudge, maybe turn him around. He's obviously not put a reset button onto his steering wheel. He's trying to see if he can do anything to flip that car back round. He is on his side, lost control of the car, and the race leader, Crusher Bro, unable to avoid him, and is now heading for pit lane with wing damage to the front of that car. That could really change the complexion in the last 10 minutes of the race, because it's a 12-second gap till Ironics up ahead, and this is going to be a lengthy pit stop for Crusher Bro, as Mays is still on his side. If anyone's watching, give him a small nudge if you can. He needs to put a reset button though, because you're allowed to reset it. You can see he's spinning the wheels up in the hope that it'll just pitch the car round and put it all back on his side. Maybe if he turns the wheel a little bit, he'll maybe be able to get it going. That was Plaster running wide there. You can see he's just turning the wheel in the hope that it'll pitch it. It's nearly done it. He's nearly got it back round. If he just does it quickly enough, he might actually flip this back. Up front, Ironics has gone into the lead of the race with Crusher now in pit lane, getting those repairs done. Can Mays get it flipped back around? He's trying his absolute damnedest, and if he does, he deserves driver of the day just for that. Crusher Bro coming out of pit lane. He is in 4th place. He is behind the Zebra, behind Jazza, and behind the new race leader of Lyronics. And this could be very good for the German. Only 8.5 minutes to go. Crusher Bro is coming out. Mays has gave up trying to flip that car back round, so had to retire out. So he is the next retirement. We're down to 6 runners now. That was such a shame for Mays there. Not much it looked like the Crusher Bro could do. Mays just lost it on his own, and Crusher just tried to get out of the way, couldn't react, and straight into the side of the car is what it looked like to me. He has got 40 seconds to catch up to the leader. He has got a 17-second gap to Zebra in third place to get himself on the podium. So this is going to be a fun last 7.5 minutes. Man of Steel's happy because Jazza has moved himself now up into second place with all of that going on. Mays in the chat there saying sorry to Crusher. It did look like to me that it was just a case of Mays lost control and Crusher just couldn't react in time to the spinning car, and it's put him down to 4th, but it now means Lyronics is currently on his way to what was looking like an unexpected chance of a victory. He was a long way down after the pit stop phase, around about 20 plus seconds. It came down a bit after Crusher made the mistake, which allowed Mays to unlap himself because he was slow on track. And then over the rise of Butte and coming down the hill, Mays had lost control and Crusher, unable to react in time, crashed into the side of him. And that is not where he wants to be. Man of Steel TTTV retirement home. Well, there's plenty of people in the chat that have retired. I'd rather they were out on track, to be honest, obviously, but these things do happen, unfortunately. It is just one of those parts of racing. It means Alan Kay down in 6th place, trying to catch up to Plaster, and Plaster himself in 5th. Going to pick up some decent points here as Plaster just sets his fastest lap of the race there, 2 times quicker than anything he's done so far, so good lap in there from him, even though he might be down in 5th place. There is Crusher, and he's made up about a second so far, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be too much, even for someone with his speed, to even catch up to 3rd place. He's got 16.5 seconds, and you know, you've got the Zebra up ahead who's already through turn 7, heading towards Klingon. There he is there. He's not too far off the back of Jazza. The American might just fancy his first trip to the podium being 2nd place rather than 3rd. You can see the lap times there, he was about a second quicker on that last lap, so he's closing up. If he closes up enough to Jazza for this last 5 or so minutes, that might just be what Crusher needs, because if these two start fighting, then they're also going to lose time to Crusher behind, so there's still a chance maybe, but it's a long shot. Crusher needs to be absolutely flying through. He needs his qualifying times, and even then he needs a lot of luck to get anywhere close. But Zebra is catching up slowly to the back of Jazza. He's lost a bit of time through that final section, unfortunately, so he's down to back up to 3-second gap now, but it is going to be interesting to see how this one pans out towards the end of this race. There is your race leader, Lyronics, coming through the chicane section just now. Man of Steel's got his fingers crossed for Jazza coming across in 2nd at least. So Lyronics leads. He's got 4, just under the 5-minute mark now. There is Jazza over the rise through Butte down towards the turn 7 section. Zebra is 2.7 seconds behind him in 3rd position. There he is, and Crusher's got the gap down to 14.8. Oh, mistake there from the Zebra a little bit, but to correct the car, that will cost him a few tenths. Crusher's going to be pushing it, you can be absolutely sure of that. Alan Kay's now closed up to the back of Plaster's off the track and managed to see Alan coming to avoid another incident, and Alan Kay moves up into 5th position. So it's 5th place now for Alan Kay, and I believe that would be one of his better results. He has had a 3rd place in the earlier on this season. Right, he's currently on for 5th place. There's Jazza coming across the line now. The gap to Zebra down to 1.8, so Zebra's gained a bit of time through that final sector, He just seems to lose a little bit of time through the first sector sometimes. Oh, tank slapper for Jazza. He doesn't want to be doing that too much. That could throw second place away. There's only 3.5 minutes to go, and the Zebra now is within touching distance of taking its second position here in this feature race. We're into the final few minutes now, and it is getting very close in this battle for second and third between Jazza and Zebra. And you can see Jazza weaving the car a little bit. Maybe feels he's picked up a bit of damage, possibly, unsure, but a little bit of a weave there. Crusher is still in fourth position. Zebra coming up over the hill. There is Crusher there just in the background heading towards the chicane. That gap's down to 12 seconds now, but it's going to be a long shot to be close, because he then needs to pass. Jazza's made the mistake through that chicane section by the looks of it. He got a little bit to the wide side there, nearly in the grass. So he's pushing hard, and that's allowing the Zebra a very good chance to close up here into these final stages of the race. You can see they're both down on their fastest lap times. Jazza 42 last lap, Zebra 1 minute 40, and Crusher we have 37.8. The Grand Slam is off. He's not going to get the victory unless some sort of miracle happens in the final 2 minutes. But the battle at the moment is between these two, Jazza and the Zebra. Crossing the line second and third on the road. As you see, lap times 41.5, 40.7. Crusher will be crossing the line in just a moment. Keep an eye on that lap time. It's a 37.8 last time by, and this time by he's on a 38.4, so that's another 2 seconds roughly out of the guys ahead, but with only a minute 48 to go, it is going to be too little, too late, unless something happens between these guys up ahead. But Lyronix is heading for what would be his first victory in TTP cars, and you can see Jazza's having to weave a bit. He's now right behind the Zebra into the chicane here, so he's right in the prime position now to make a move. Lyronix is coming through Klingon corner on the map, so he's about to start what will be the last lap of the race in just a moment's time. But the Zebra has got a lap and a half to try and get by. Jazza's gone deep into the chicane, he turns 7, he's off onto the grass here. Zebra's going to get a much better run out, and can Jazza just position his car nicely on the road to hold position? Zebra goes to the outside, Jazza able to hold the racing line for now. Does Zebra fancy a chance on the brakes into Klingon corner? No, he does not do it. That's just not going to happen there, and Jazza holds on for now. Hope you enjoyed the Klingon. But Lyronix now on his final lap of the race, and after the first few laps I'm sure he didn't expect to be taking home a victory here, as long as he gets found this final 2 and a bit miles. But back up at the front, back behind him though, 25 seconds down the road, Jazza and the Zebra still fighting it out over second and third place. He's got another 2 and a bit miles himself, the Zebra, but he seems to have just dropped off a little bit. 9/10 down at the moment. Keep an eye on Jazza through turn 4, because he seems to lose a lot of time through here, and the Zebra gets a much better run. Just, you can see visibly just how much that Zebra closes up through turn 4 at that point there, so that is definitely where he is the stronger part of the track. Really late in the brakes, he's really trying to hassle and harry Jazza coming over the crest of Butte. Keep it clean, boys, don't have an incident. Goes to look to the inside now into the chicane. Can he be late on the brakes up the inside? He's had to back out for now. Can Jazza hold on? He needs to keep it on the road, but Lyronix is coming through the final couple of corners now. We need to have a jump and see here as they two come through. So Lyronix is going to come through and take his first victory in the Formula C TTP cars. Like, he wins the feature race, 35 points for him. But we come back to Klingon corner, and Jazza and the Zebra coming through for the final time. This is the fight for second and third on the road. Who's going to take it? It's only one more braking zone and an acceleration zone out, and Jazza looks like he's got it at the moment. If he can just get a good exit out nicely onto the start and finish straight. He's heading for the line, so Jazza's going to pick up second position. Man of Steel will be absolutely beside himself with joy, no doubt. The Zebra takes third, good result for the American, his first podium in TTP cars. Crusher Bro going to cross the line in fourth place, but he'll pick up the bonus point for the fastest lap. Alan Kay is going to take fifth position. He's currently coming towards Klingon Corner just now himself. It's good points for the Irishman, that will be, so he'll be happy with that. And Plaster will pick up some good points just purely down to the attrition rate during the race. We lost McKinda for you, we lost Gero, we lost Rappy, and we lost Maze. An incident in lap 1 into turn number 1 between Gero and McKinda for you. Unsure quite what happened. Seen McKinda for you upside down but able to reset himself. Gero retired from the race. Alan Kay crossing the line there in 5th place. We've then seen an incident that's seen Rappy's rear wheel at the top there off the rear of that car, and he ended up out of the race as well. And Maze lost it coming down towards the turn 7 chicane. Got collected by the race leader, a Crusher Bro, just couldn't get out of the way in time. And that's what gave Lyronix this, it deserves, because he's been quick, but unexpected victory. It is Lyronix who wins. Jazza in second. Zebra picks up his first podium in 3rd place. He'll be pretty happy with that indeed. Crusher Bro takes 4th position, so it's still some decent points, and he will pick up the bonus point for the fastest lap as well. And Kay takes 5th place, had to make 2 stops due to damage by the looks of it, and Plaster rounds out the field in 6th place. And although he's got a Slovenian flag there, I can promise you he is not. So there you go. So that is the end of round number 5. We've seen action, drama, and a bit of controversy as well, shall we say, in the field. But I do thank everyone for joining us in the chat once again. Thank you, Man of Steel, who's joined us every week for this. Thank you very much for doing that, my friend. If you are feeling very generous, I'll just throw it out there. Go subscribe to me. Give me a sub, mate, if you've not done it already. But thank you very much for joining me. I love the fact that you come along and get involved in the chats. It's brilliant. Thank you very much. And supporting Jazza as well, of course. Even Jack, Jazza in the chat there, you'll surely be happy with 2nd place, holding on in the end. Good battle between him and the Zebra, and of course Zebra will be happy with the podium. Crusher will be disappointed. He's obviously put that there in the chat as well, but these things do happen. That is motor racing. But that is it from me for another Saturday evening. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, TTL F2 with Nexus, Jack and Cats. 225% races tomorrow evening on F1 2018. It's the Monaco Grand Prix and the Canadian Grand Prix. You can join them from 8 o'clock UK time. Tuesday evening, Kieran McGinley will be back with TTL F1. It'll be round 8 from the French Grand Prix and Paul Ricard. And then on Thursday it'll be Kieran once again with TTL F1 for round 9, which is from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Friday night will be TTFL. It'll be from Austria, the Red Bull Ring as well. Malk, who obviously joined me last night for his first commentary on TTTV, he's taken over full time there, so he'll be going with that one on Friday. And I'll be back for Knockhill next Saturday evening at 8 o'clock start for all of those. And also on Wednesday evening, the start of the latest esports mini league as well, 8 o'clock for the main league, but the secondary tier league, because there's 2 tiers, starts at 7 o'clock, so the coverage will be on TTTV as well. Join us for that also. Hope you can join in. We've got 2 races on that night, both from the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal and from the Circuit of the Americas, the US Grand Prix. Visceral Racing VSR have won both the events so far this year. Can they make it a hat-trick? Join us this Wednesday and next Wednesday to find out. But that's it. If you haven't done already, hit the like button, subscribe to TTTV, hit the bell icon so you know when anything goes live on the channel. But for myself, Andy, for everyone involved here on the Project Cars League, thank you very much for joining me. Hope to see you again next week, and until then, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Ta-ra.